seeing what I see right now?
Witnessing all things from the ground didn't help us get all the details, but through drones, we can now capture implausible and astounding fantasies of the ocean or thrilling and perplexing sights from land. Hang on, as here are unbelievable drone captures that no one would have believed if they had not been filmed. Goatman. Paranormal, extraterrestrial, or some other mythical creature. I'm still not sure about this unknown being residing inside the abandoned cave. While flying his drone above the unexplored caves of the world, a man decided to descend down his gadget to look inside the strange cave opening. And what appeared on the screen was something beyond his imagination. An odd biped creature with horns and limbs like that of a goat was trying to spy on the flying device while hiding behind the cave wall. Since it was too dark inside the cave, nothing much of the features were revealed, and also, the clip suddenly ended, making the creature more mysterious. Sky Devil. Either it's the start of an apocalypse, or it's an extraterrestrial attack. The mystery figures standing in the middle of the town quickly sparked through the internet right after their rare footage was shared online. The unknown misty giants were captured by a drone during the carnival in San Pedro and can be seen sending bizarre smoke plumes into the night sky. Nothing much about these sky devils was revealed, as according to the source of this rare clip, the strange figures didn't stay long and quickly disappeared after rising above and were not seen again. Flying humanoid. While hovering above Browns Bay a few years back, a drone operator managed to capture some moments of a rare, strange figure. Floating in the sky some 10,000 feet above the ground, the mysterious, unidentified figure appeared as a shiny, shapeless object, which, after a few seconds, shifted its position to become visible like a humanoid. Like many other mysteries, this strange figure also became a controversial object, with many people calling it a UFO or another shape-shifting object. Even some described it as an interdimensional humanoid traveler. However, the drone operator named it a humanoid figure attached to a device suitable for flying through the sky. Ghost Lady. According to an old myth, abandoned places are always haunted. To prove this myth wrong, a guy decided to fly his drone over an abandoned place and lowered his drone behind one of the haunted walls. As the drone flew closer to the ground, a strange, mysterious figure came into view, which later appeared to be a lady wearing a long white dress. With her face turned to the other side, the ghost lady became more creepy when it didn't react, even though the camera approached it. So, is it true that the drone actually managed to capture the ghost lady? Or is there another explanation for the mysterious appearance? Any guesses? Giant's face in cloud. This time, a drone filmed literally a rare moment that, if not captured, no one would have ever believed. Canadians in 2011 remained stunned after witnessing the stormy weather in their town. Not just the strong winds, but also the clouds provided a strange sight after taking the shape of a huge face. With a well-defined nose and clearly visible humanoid features, the massive formation of the cloud took the shape of a human face, which for many onlookers was definitely something never seen before. The rare clip was shared quickly online, with so many netizens claiming it to be a giant's face, while for others, the clouds were just playing tricks on our eyes. Loneliest man in Amazon tribe. Hoping to drive the attention of the people toward one of the most isolated tribes in the world, a guy decided to use his camera to capture some unusual clips from the Amazon tribe, and was successful to a great extent after clicking some rare shots of an indigenous man who was believed to be the last remaining member of an isolated tribe in the Brazilian Amazon. With his body covered in leaves, the guy was spotted cutting down the trees without even noticing someone spying on him. Although the Brazilian government has been following him for more than a decade, this footage was thought to be the rarest clip ever. Strange figure stalking drone. Sometimes appearing in the frame, while other times disappearing from sight. The strange figure might have been trying to stalk the flying gadget. Flying his drone while standing alone near Fort McClellan in Alabama, a guy was stunned to notice a mysterious figure standing beside the street lamp that certainly wanted to join him in the middle of the night. But after noticing being filmed by a drone, the figure tends to hide behind a pole and strangely vanishes from the scene, as if no one existed there before. Deformed whale. Who wouldn't be curious to find a massive sea mammal swimming near the surface? While having an aerial view of the Mediterranean Sea, a team of oceanographers was stunned to see a whale with a sharp deviation in the mammal's spine halfway down its body. The 55-foot-long whale was initially thought to be a victim of entangling, but later studies show that this rare condition was due to a severe case of scoliosis, which is an abnormal curvature of the spine. Biologists were trying to attach a tracker, but the whale's malformation made it difficult. After a few hours of a rare sight, the fin whale left the coastline by hardly swimming away. Crocodile feasting on zebra. This time, a drone managed to capture one of the most heart-stopping moments in the wild. Captured during the annual migration season at the Mara River in Kenya is a group of tens of hungry gangsters of the river feasting on an unlucky zebra who became a victim while crossing the infested water body. Starting from 2 and ending up in many, more and more crocs could be seen popping out to take part in enjoying the meal, while dragging the poor fellow underwater. This is not the only zebra, because anyone crossing the river could become the ultimate target of the river monsters. Loch Ness Monster. While filming footage with his high-tech drone on the bank of the loch, a Scottish man accidentally captured a rare sight of one of the most unbelievably fabled creatures. Now at first, he didn't notice anything, but while reviewing the footage, he caught sight of an unusual shape swimming near the surface. Even after rewinding the footage several times, he was not sure about the figure. However, according to him, it certainly has the same shape as previous sightings of one of nature's most elusive beasts, the Loch Ness Monster. Hairy biped. Trying to discover a new species, a guy decided to fly his drone over a tree line above the snowy ground. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a strange, giant biped emerged and hid underneath the dense trees. And then again appeared on the other side of the woods, walking just like a humanoid or another large ape. Although the drone operator tried to film the hairy beast, he remained unable to get closer to get a detailed look to identify it. Strolling fearlessly in the woods, the unknown hairy biped could possibly be a Bigfoot or perhaps a Sasquatch. But if not, what other titles would you guys suggest? Dog chasing cryptid. Although not a drone this time, another spying gadget was able to film a cryptid creature running fearlessly on a road. Filmed at an unknown location, the short clip begins with a 3-foot-long cryptid figure running on a roadside, certainly escaping the dog behind it, and suddenly jumped inside the trash bin in order to avoid the stalking critter. To dub the figure or clip a fake would be unfair, as the animal could be seen becoming curious after losing the target, who appeared on the scene again after managing to chase the stalker away. Ghostly figure in cemetery. This guy might have regretted his decision of flying a drone above a haunted cemetery, as his drone brought something really creepy to him. Filmed at a cemetery in the middle of the night, the clip started with a smooth drone flight over the haunted graves. Things got creepier when, from behind one of the graves, appeared a strange, ghostly figure that mysteriously lifted its misty body and floated into the air before becoming invisible forever. With an unexplainable shape, the unidentified ghost was never seen again. Even after so many years have passed since the incident, the guy is still searching for the figure that was accidentally captured by his drone. Snow leopard versus ibex. A short clip, but quite a sight to behold. Hovering several feet above the snowy cliff, a drone filmed a male snow lion ambushing an approaching ibex while concealing itself behind a rock. With its prey within striking distance, it took off, leaping over soft snow piles on the edge of a steep rock face. The drop from this point was over 1,000 feet through a narrow and steep gorge into the frozen river below. The sure-footed ibex was too quick for the snow leopard, who not only missed the kill, but ended up falling directly into the gorge. Miraculously, the snow leopard survived the fall to see another day. Isolated Amazon tribe. Even after stepping out from our own planet, there are still a few lands back on our Earth that are unexplored by us curious Homo sapiens. One of them is this isolated Amazon tribe, whose first ever aerial view was captured in 2017 by a Brazilian expedition team. Filmed by using powerful lenses several feet away in the air, the team was able to get a glimpse of the actual tribe, living in huts made of leaves and wood, surrounded by thick forest. This ethnic group of people still lives in the Stone Age, with the men covering their bodies with red paint and using their simple tools and weapons. Teleporting man. Posted a few years back on a YouTube channel, this drone footage shows a man walking alongside a sidewalk before breaking into a run. He takes a few steps and then suddenly vanishes. For many doubters, this footage might have been manipulated, while others suggested the guy must have been a time traveler captured by a drone at the precise moment before he jumped into another time. Some even claimed that it's actually proof of spontaneous teleportation, as it is impossible to say what is actually happening in this video. Could this man be teleporting or even time traveling? Or is it nothing more than clever editing? What are your guys' thoughts on this? Unknown black figure. To take an aerial view of an abandoned house in the fields, a man was piloting his drone above the bushy ground. Suddenly, in the middle of the field, he noticed a strange black figure in the abandoned house. The unknown shape emerged from one side and walked like a humanoid before disappearing from sight. Even after zooming in on the footage several times, the guy was not sure about what the figure was. But according to him, there must be something mysterious trying to hide from the human eye. Orca hunting gray whales. Captured by drone are the two great gray whales swimming together for their annual migration. But these are not the only mammals lurking, as chasing them from behind are the two killer whales. Although it is not uncommon for orcas to attack gray whales, they usually target calves, which are far more vulnerable rather than adults. But here, the orcas could be seen taking turns ramming the adult gray whales and biting their pectoral fins. According to the man who got this spectacular view, there were even more than 16 orcas making brazen attacks and leaving the whales wounded. Despite a series of non-stop strikes, the great gray whales fought back with their massive tail flukes and eventually got to shallow water and survived. Unknown crawler in woods. Messing around with the drone for a couple of hours above the forest, two guys got themselves stuck after discovering something that is still a mystery to the world. Moving mysteriously in the trees was definitely not a bear, so they decided to film the supposed creature. But as the drone got closer and closer, the supposed animal started looking less like an animal, and its humanoid features started becoming more visible. Walking on all fours, but not an animal, resembling an ape but having a hairless white body, the weird creature was attempting to dig something in the ground that was not recovered after the pair decided to find it. Even to date, the guys have no clue about the mysterious crawler and are still hoping to meet that guy again. Orca rescued. Either this is just a thoughtless attempt, or these guys are really courageous. This drone footage includes a moment where some rescuers were trying to save a beached orca on an Argentine beach. This aquatic apex predator was one of the 7 that became stranded before being spotted by a visitor. Volunteers, along with rescuers and marine biologists, were able to save 6 orcas, but unfortunately, the 7th died. No one was sure why orcas beached. However, an autopsy was planned to learn about the real cause. Wolf attacked moose. While shooting the scenes of the pristine wilderness with a high-resolution drone camera, a guy was able to capture this riveting confrontation between a moose and a wolf in a lake in northern Ontario. The moose was wandering in the ankle-deep water near the lake shore, and the guy decided to move the drone in for a closer look. But before he maneuvered it up to the skies again, a wolf suddenly charged out of the bushes and grabbed the moose in its jaws. But the majestic animal refused to give up and defended itself by kicking out the wolf and managed to take the wolf to the deep waters, where its assailant gave up. Thousands of sea turtles. At first glance, you might think this ocean has been infested with billions of jellyfish. But to your surprise, these tiny creatures scattering all over the water surface are green sea turtles. This stunning view of the tremendous number of sea turtles was captured by a team of scientists during an aerial survey of the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. This massive gathering of roughly 64,000 turtles was not something to be worried about, as according to marine biologists, the circling shelled reptiles were waiting to come ashore to lay their eggs, which was their largest breeding ground. Whale carcass. While scouting a beach with a drone, the guy discovered a huge carcass lying near Sandy Beach in Northumberland. Measuring several feet in length, the sperm whale was believed to die of suffocation after becoming stranded, but experts were not sure to announce the actual cause of its death. With much of the organs already decomposed, the 6,000-pound dead sperm whale was a rare sight to see, as these deep-sea mammals hardly visit British waters. After a detailed necropsy, the carcass was moved to the country's museum. Penguins mega colony. Watching these microdot-like objects from above looks as if it's a tiny tadpole colony. But actually, they are not. This breathtaking footage was captured by a team of scientists during an aerial survey in Antarctica. A mega colony of more than 1.5 million rare penguins that were once thought to be extinct. But while investigating the endangered Arctic region in 2015, experts were shocked to find hundreds and millions of birds nesting in the rocky soil. Discovering the special penguins have made the experts line up a future plan in order to protect this rare species. Moose shed antlers. Flying his new drone above the white ground all covered with snow, a guy managed to capture a hunter's dream, an adult bull moose. But that's not the most thrilling part. The real excitement began when this majestic animal started shaking its head, throwing the huge pair of antlers in the air. Although it's common to find shed antlers, capturing a bull shedding off its antlers is not an everyday sight. The guy was lucky to capture the rare moment, and after the moose went off, he quickly reached the spot to collect the precious set. Circling reindeer. In one of the most amazing drone clicks comes this hypnotic video of a herd of reindeer in Russia moving together like a swirling cyclone. Although it looks really mysterious to observe these animals going round and round without any human lead, there is yet a convincing reason behind this strange behavior. According to experts, this dance is a kind of a rear guard. The swirling mass of threatened reindeer stampeding in a circle makes it impossible to target an individual. They form a tight circle and keep the fawns in the center, who are more vulnerable. But most often, females are also seen concentrated in the middle of the spiral. And from above, it looks pretty surreal. Kangaroo attacks drone. Whether you're a drone or a human, you better be careful before you step into the ring with this Australian boxer. A group of kangaroos was minding their own business when a drone operator decided to invade their personal space. Seeing the metal bird hovering above them sparked a passion for protection among one of the kangaroos, who started chasing to get rid of this nagging metal raptor. Hopping from left to right to get a catch, after several failed attempts, the Australian critter finally got an opportunity and knocked out the soaring device with a slap of death. And down goes the drone, leaving a lesson for others to never enter a kangaroo's territory. Angry ram. Here we have another critter who got disturbed by the presence of his flying camera and decided to bump with its powerful head. While flying his quadcopter drone above the bushy trunks a few years back, a guy discovered a ram grazing on its favorite greenery. To get a closer look, he decided to fly his drone within an ace of the ram without having an idea of incurring the wrath of the animal. However, the angry ram didn't like the idea and quickly managed to knock it into the bushes with an irresistible head strike. Luckily, both the ram and the drone remained unharmed during this epic encounter, and the device was later retrieved. Cheetah attacked drone. What happens when you take a drone for a flight in the captivity of the most inquisitive creature? Based on the footage, it looks like cheetahs also aren't fond of being spied on. It started innocently enough, as the drone flew in for a closer look into the life of a cheetah living in the wildlife part of South Africa. But the curious feline had some other plans, as it was already disturbed by the noise coming from the odd hovering device. The cheetah decided to jump high, reaching the drone soaring at a towering height above the ground, which came down with a beep sound, indicating the last moments of it. But fortunately, the drone was retrieved with only a few scratches on its body. Python captured by thermal drone. You might think it is a microscopic view of an earthworm, but wait until the clip proceeds. Hard to spot in thick forests, this is a python, a reptile expert at camouflaging while posing a threat to any passerby. But thanks to the engineers, who have solved this issue by inventing drones equipped with the latest thermal imaging equipment that can effectively spot and track pythons even at night. This thermal imagery picks up not just the huge pythons, but also the native snakes as small as 18 inches, making it easier for the hunters to bring down the number of devastating snakes. Rattlesnake pit. What about flying into the pit of a rattlesnake? Well, this might be the most skin-crawling entry, as it shows a cluster of an infinite number of venomous vipers ready to inject their deadly venom. While taking an aerial view of a dry, bushy area, the drone operator found a snake pit with countless rattlesnakes in it. At first, they didn't get bothered by the drone's presence, but when the flying device came in for a closer look, one of the snakes struck the drone, which later was followed by other snakes who also decided to offer their bites, sending the drone inside the pit filled with a cluster of the most lethal predators. Drone found the missing dog. Not always used to catching sight of the most unbelievable moments, sometimes these flying devices become a lifesaver. After reading a post about a dog missing for more than 10 days, a man decided to locate and rescue the lost animal, whose owners had given up hope of ever meeting their pet again. After reaching the town, the videographer used his drone to search for the missing pet. Around 15 minutes into the flight over thick woodland, he saw a white speck on his drone and headed into the thick bushes to continue his search. Fortunately, he was able to reach the exact spot to retrieve the pooch, who, after a proper medical examination, was handed over to its owner. Napping elephants. At first, you might think these elephants have died, but all your doubts will be vanished after seeing the tiny calf cuddling with its mother. This adorable clip was captured 2 years back in China, while the drone was in flight for the routine monitoring of wildlife. Generally, elephants in the wild more often sleep standing, This was for the very first time a herd of elephants found lying down to sleep in groups while surrounding the baby elephant. According to experts, it was to protect the calf from wandering off after waking up, who actually could be seen struggling hard to climb off its mother's back. Cub climbing cliff. Here we have a heart-stopping clip that starts by showing a pair clambering over a rocky patch of ground. Both animals initially slide down the slope, but the mother quickly regains her footing and makes it to the ridge, waiting for the cub who was struggling to reach the top, leaving long trails in the snow by digging in to prevent it from slipping too far below. After sliding a considerable distance, it ended up on a large rocky patch in front of the anxious mom. But this young creature refused to have a meltdown and managed to reach the top, where the waiting mother received her brave cub and both continued their journey. Mysterious mass burial. While flying above an abandoned area, a drone camera managed to record a most mysterious activity that shows two groups of people watching an excavator digging strange wooden boxes inside a long grave. The video, after being shared online, quickly went viral and remained in headlines until a convincing explanation was provided. This disturbing image was actually captured back in 2020 during the peak time of COVID-19. Due to the high death rate and the threat of this contagious disease, the burial process with utmost precaution was much more difficult but necessary. So, the prisoners were appointed to dig the graves of the victims of New York City, but the inmates were instructed to wear hazmat suits for protection against viral spreads. The loneliest tree. While talking about the loneliest tribe in the world, I found this amazing drone footage of a tree spawning all alone on an isolated island in the middle of the Dead Sea, some 100 yards from the shore. After the discovery of this solitary tree, it was first assumed to be a man-made piece of art, as the Dead Sea is the only piece of water where life can't exist. But upon reaching out to this mysterious trunk, it turned out to be a real tree standing all alone with its roots hidden in salt formations. A mysterious biped with a demon head, yet wings like an angel. This disturbing piece of footage was posted by a Facebook user, who, after posting the image, let the netizens name it. The grainy photo appears to show a large dark figure standing taller in the middle of a sidewalk. Right after the footage was posted, it sparked a holy argument among social media users, with some calling it a winged agent of the devil, while others think it might be a fallen angel. However, skeptics claim the shape looming over the sidewalk might be a tree or perhaps a Photoshop job. Although this puzzling image was removed after just a few days, people are still trying to figure out this uncanny, shadowy figure. Hundreds of black-tip sharks. Nature isn't always pretty. Sometimes it's just downright disturbing. Flying a drone 2 years back in March to capture the amazing sight of an island near Florida, a photographer unknowingly caught a very rare sight of a school of black-tip sharks. Measuring from 5 feet to 6 feet in length, the blacktips were swimming and leaping out of the water. This was not the first time they emerged like this, but it surely was the first time a spectacular sight of blacktips was captured. Although these marine animals don't pose a serious threat to humans, beachgoers were warned to stay away from the shark-infested water to avoid any terrifying incident. Mysterious man under bridge. In the middle of nowhere underneath the bridge, a drone spinning around captured a strange object lying just along the shoreline that, upon a closer look, turned out to be the body of a supposed deceased person. Things got even weirder when the supposed late person started moving his body and stood up. From tossing rocks into the river and wobbling around the steep ground, the guy was looking really mysterious. After stumbling around for some time, he hid under the bridge and suddenly appeared on the other side to hit down the drone. When that remained useless, he started running fast to get away. Unfortunately, before the drone could follow him further, the clip suddenly cut out due